The seas have always witnessed great struggles in world history. The seas, which can change the course of the wars and provide cheap trade, also play a major role in the Russia-Ukraine war. However, these naval battles are not giving Russia the gains it wants and disproving the lie of a strong navy it has been telling for years. There is only the Black Sea left for Russia to use actively in its attempt to invade Ukraine. We say only the Black Sea because Russia's plans for the Baltic Sea have failed. Russia will not get the support it expects from Belarus. Add to this the successful Ukrainian operation on the Dnieper River. All the Russian military superiority arguments are in tatters. So what is happening at sea? Let's analyze the events in the light of current developments. The Russian army no longer has the strength to continue the war. The financial picture of the war is breaking the fault lines of the Russian economy one by one. The bills for logarithmically increasing personnel and equipment losses are being mailed to the Kremlin. Seeing the bills every morning before breakfast, Putin's appetite is disappearing. The latest reports show that the cost of Russia's invasion of Ukraine has wiped out the vast majority of its forces. It is unlikely that Russia will be able to make up for this loss in a short period of time. Putin's mobilization plan to at least compensate for the loss of personnel seems to have been shelved. The heavy losses and the fact that the Russian people have been crushed by the cost of the war suggest that they will not be willing to support mobilization and join the army on their own. The Ukrainian Navy's operations in the Black Sea are inflicting an unprecedented defeat on the Russian Navy. So far, the Russian Navy has lost 18 ships to the cold waters of the Black Sea. The Ukrainian Navy has caused great damage to the Russian Navy with its limited means. The Russian Navy can no longer approach the Ukrainian coast. The latest data from the region shows that Russian ships cannot attempt to attack or land in Ukraine from the sea, because Ukraine has a surprise in store for the approaching Russian ships: Neptune anti-ship missiles. Developed by Ukrainian engineers based on Soviet Union missile plants, the Neptune turns all ships within 200 miles into scrap. The Ukrainian coast also poses a threat to the Russian Navy with underwater mines placed by the Ukrainian army. Russia may take risks and approach the Ukrainian coast to sell its ship scrap. The war is not limited to the Black Sea. It is also taking place on the Dnieper River, which geographically divides the Ukrainian capital in two. The United States has donated petrol boats to the Ukrainian army to monitor the river. Ukrainian soldiers who are becoming more and more adept at using the boats have captured Russian outposts stationed on the banks of the Dnieper River. Another lifeline for Russia, which uses the river for patrolling and resupply, has been severed. As the fighting on the Dnieper River intensifies, the news that shook Russia came from its staunch ally Belarus. Belarusian officials have said that Russia will only get involved in its war with Ukraine if they are attacked. Russia's plans to attack Ukraine by crossing the Dnieper River through the Baltic Sea have also become dysfunctional. As the Russian army's pincer is getting tighter day by day, it is no longer getting the support it needs from its allies. This is an indication that Russia is in the process of losing the war. In naval battles, natural formations often give navies an advantage. Especially areas that function as natural harbors can be used as a shelter and logistics center for the Navy. Kimbered Spit is one of these natural formations. Located just 10 kilometers from Mykolaiv Oblast, the Spit was turned into a base by the Russian army. Kimbered Spit became a new target after the Ukrainian army liberated Kherson. The Ukrainian army wants to defend its coast further out. Therefore, we can state that the operations in Kimbered Spit will be very close. The further the defense starts, the safer the coast will be. It can be said that very soon the Ukrainian Navy and ground army will take control of Kimber. Ukraine's Navy is preparing not only to protect its coast but also for offensive operations. The Ivan Mazepa, a joint Turkish-Ukrainian production, which will be the flagship of the Ukrainian Navy, was launched in October. 4 more corvettes, which Ukraine is building jointly with Turkey, will be launched in the coming days. On the other hand, European countries are also increasing their naval equipment to Ukraine. Recently, the UK delivered the Sea King destroyer helicopter to Ukraine. This helicopter, which is integrated with the Navy, will be used in search and rescue activities of the Ukrainian army. In addition, a minesweeper is expected to be delivered to the Ukrainian Navy in the coming days. Another move from Germany. According to statements made by Ukrainian authorities, Germany will soon provide submarine support to Ukraine. Although German officials have not confirmed this claim for now, It suggests that this support may be realized due to the increasing possibility of Russia's loss. While the successive defeats on land and in the air have been shock after shock to the Russian army, the naval battles are not making Russia happy either. Putin was a very successful manipulator, but that was before the war, because one by one, the pillars of the strong Russia propaganda that Putin has been built for years are breaking. The last pillar to break is the perception that the Russian Navy is one of the most powerful in the world. In fact, we can understand that this perception is a bubble from an event that happened in 2000. Our protagonist is a Russian nuclear submarine named Kursk. The Kursk, the largest submarine in the Russian Navy, set up for an exercise in the Baltic Sea with torpedo systems not used by any of the world's navies. Neither Russia nor Putin nor the submarine were aware that this would be the submarine's last voyage. The torpedoes fired during the exercise had been removed from the inventory of all navies except the Russian Navy because they were risky. Russia paid the price for this mistake, made in its eagerness to be marginal by losing the submarine and its entire crew. Putin's attitude towards this incident was similar to what he does today. In the face of this loss of submarine and crew, Putin interrupted his vacation and did not even make a statement. Today, Putin's attitude towards the losses in the Russian-Ukrainian war is no different. According to the latest data, the Russian army has lost nearly 150,000 personnel. In addition, 3,300 tanks and armored vehicles, 2,400 artillery missiles, 466 MLRS, 298 aircraft, 287 helicopters, 2,012 drones, 857 cruise missiles and 18 naval vessels were destroyed by Ukrainian operations. The war is in full swing and getting more and more violent. The Ukrainian army is getting stronger day by day and surpassing the Russian army in every field. Russia, on the other hand, is desperate. Russia's last efforts, the Russian army's war, cannot prevent the Ukrainian victory. It will only delay it. Ukraine's victory could coincide with Putin's vacation. What do you think? What will be Putin's policy in the face of the intensifying conflict? How will the losses at strategic points affect the Russian army? Will the operations of the Ukrainian Navy continue? Will the Black Sea decide the fate of the war? We care about your views. Share them with us.